Alright. It's a little bit foggy this morning. I see the sun's out though, it's trying. Yep, there we go. A little bit of fog. We're out in the middle of corn country. And I want to take the WR250R out for a little spin because I did a little programming on the Power Commander 5 yesterday, and this thing has auto tune on it. So I do that, and then I take it out and drive it and see what the auto tune says about my numbers. So yeah, I just wanted to come out before everybody else got up and kind of run it through the paces here, take it back, check the program, see where it stands. Where should we go? Straight or left? Let's go left. We're gonna stop for absolutely nobody. So anyway, she's got 46,000 miles on it. There it goes. It has 4,000 miles on the turbo with absolutely no problems. As long as you change the oil on these bikes, I think they're perfectly fine. This used to be my primary motorcycle. Then I changed jobs and so a little bit farther away. This WR is perfect for shorter trips. No highway or anything, or excuse me, freeway or anything like that. Let's go right. So anyway, so that's why we're out here this morning. Let auto tune do its little thing. I'll go back, put it on the laptop, see what we got. There we go. See, it does little. You can almost, you kind of feel it. Of course, with the auto tuning, it has to be at a certain RPM and pressure for a certain amount of time before it'll make an adjustment. So you kind of have to, I just drive it around for a little while, and then I'll go back and it'll tell me if it adds fuel at a certain point, if it takes fuel away. I haven't had this at the dyno, although I've always planned on it. It's not really close to me, so I do it myself, and I'm always messing around with it. Well, not always, but every now and then. Oops, let me go down. So anyway, like I said, this used to be my primary bike when all I had to do was commute around these local small communities here. You know, maybe 6 miles in between, something like that, or around town. And see, there it's doing its thing there. But it's my favorite bike out of the 3 bikes that I have. Extremely reliable. I ride it in the winter time. I ride it in the rain. I've ridden it in windy conditions, and that's weird because this thing doesn't weigh very much at all. What else? Let's talk about the winter, because I missed 4 weeks of riding within the last rotation or the last year before I got my other commuter bike. And what I've discovered through trial and error is that the boots I wear I don't really have to wear any extra socks or anything. I just wear rabbit, just ankle high boots, leather boots. I wear regular pants in the winter now. However, I will layer up sweatshirt, extra shirt, and my riding jacket. And this was, and I'm gonna go left here. Nobody's coming. Okay, we're good. So anyway, you just layer up just like anything else. Well, now I'm in the Midwest, so my cutoff is, through trial and error again, Fahrenheit 20 degrees is my limit for temperature. And obviously ice, if the roads were wet overnight and it's below freezing, I'll generally pass on that. Now if the roads are dry and it's 20 degrees or whatever, they have been dry for a while, then it's game on. It's not a big deal. And this was before I had heated grips on there too. I put, at the end of winter this year, I put heated grips on it, and I haven't really had a chance to really test them out because it kind of warmed up on me. So anyway, back to winter on the WR. It's not a big deal if you dress for it and you're use some common sense. Snow and ice, and that's not a good idea. It's bad enough in a car. Although I have been out, I wouldn't say I got caught. I mean, I made a conscious decision to go when it was a little bit frosty and the roads had some patches in it. But to see the sun had already come up, and that's when I discovered that I could ride in what I consider to be lane 2, which would be the middle, the high hump, because the sun had been shining on that for an hour or so, and all the ice had melted and run off into the lanes 1 and 2, or on the sides. So anyway, so yeah, I'll do that too. Now as far as the cold goes, never really had a problem. The only issue I've ever had, what gear am I in? Oh, I was in 5th. No, I don't want to go to 5th. The only issue I had is my right thumb, and that was on a day, well, I thought it was 20. Let's see what this guy's going to do here. I thought it was 20 degrees out, and it turns out it was 14. That doesn't sound like much of a big deal, but it was. And then I was wearing the same gear I always do for my winter riding, and my right thumb was the only thing that got cold. And I believe I had regular winter gloves on top of my regular motorcycle leather gloves. So anyway, the right thumb. But I think that probably will be alleviated now with these heated grips for next year. Now, that's the winter thing. It's not a big deal to me. I've always kind of seen motorcycles as transportation. Like today, it's kind of foggy. It might be 60 degrees. I don't know. But I'm out testing out and fine-tuning this turbo setup because I keep wanting to mess with it. When I had it perfect at one time, but then of course I got to mess with it and all that. But right now it's doing just fine. I guess we could talk about that. The turbo is capped off at 8 psi. It has a Power Commander 5 with auto tune on it. I ran the stock map that came with it, sorta. let's go up one, I guess, and cruise it. And that was just fine. I mean, it would go through first, go through second, and it would power wheelie up whenever you wanted it to. And let's make sure nobody's coming up behind me here. I don't think they are. So I'm gonna do this. I'll show it to you. By neutral, yeah. It's kind of foggy today. A little bit. So that's it right there. Yeah, she's smoking a little bit. What happened was I've recently changed the oil on it, and it's kind of a booger because obviously the fill is right in there, and that's where the return line is for the turbo. And I had a funnel out. I had a big giant funnel out, and I was pouring oil in, and it got some on that wrap there. So it smells like brand new oil when it's burning. But anyway, that's the turbo. It's been on there for 4,000 miles, so it looks all cruddy. Other than that, I just keep the filter clean, keep the oil changed. No issues there. And of course, it has that pipe on it. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I do kind of go every now and then. I'll check and make sure that all the hose clamps are tight and stuff, so I don't have any pressure leaks or anything like that causing any problems. Anyway, let's get rolling here. Nobody behind me. We're good. So the turbo was night and day. I think I've been over this before in a really old video. I got the bike in 2013. I did the engine break in, then I put the turbo on it. It's just like a turbo. Put a turbo on anything. It made a heck of a difference. Now, why I did it? Just because for the fun of it. I liked it for that 500 miles. I was happy with it. Could have had more power. But I'm only living here once, so why not? Just go for it. Anyway, we're tooling along here, trying to hit different speeds. I'm kind of rambling on. I didn't really purposely come out to talk about a turbo on the WR, but so anyway, this is the best all-around bike that I can think of that I own. It'll do anything. When it's raining out, I prefer to ride this one, even though it doesn't have windscreen or anything like that. Where am I going? No idea. Let's just go straight. Anyway, no windscreen. It does have these little blue, little brush guards, but I don't know that they would really block any brush. It just has this aluminum mount on there. I probably should take them off. I don't really care for them anymore. At first it was, I got them, and I think I still have duct tape on them, but I got them to block the wind in the wintertime, and they kind of do that, I guess, but not underneath, so the thumb gets a little chilly. Oh, this thing's starting to smooth out already. Yep, there, I can feel it doing its little thing. The auto tune. Okay, back to it. So anyway, I see motorcycles, and I kind of always have, and I've ridden them a long time, and I've been riding them straight since I got this thing here. And So I use it for transportation. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not. It is fun. It's definitely a preferable way to get around when I have to drive a car. When I do drive a car, because we do have cars, it's kind of weird because you get in it after a month or so, just strictly on a motorcycle, and it's weird because you can't. Like, you notice how much you just can't see when you're in a car. You look at or you look around at a stop sign or whatever, and there's all these A pillar and B pillar and seats and everything that are in the way. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for a second. No big deal. I don't know if I'm gonna go right or not, but anyway, so you have all this stuff all around, and it just. I mean, I understand that. It's hard to see stuff when you're in an automobile. Of course, I knew that before, but on a motorcycle, you can see almost absolutely everything. Everything's just right out here in the open for you. And there's all kinds of stuff that you don't see in a car that you can see on a motorcycle. Not that trash or anything, but like animals, wildlife, stuff on the side of the road, just stuff that you don't notice when you're just driving past, because automobiles are designed to be comfortable. You're sitting down, you got your radio and all this other stuff, which is fine. That's great. I like cars too, but I prefer to ride a motorcycle. You know what? I don't think I'm going to take that road. I think I'm going to go back around the way I came. It got pretty foggy. Isn't really that big of a deal, but a lot more power than I had. A lot more fun. This thing is like the do-it-all motorcycle. Oh, what was I talking about? I don't remember now. Maybe it'll come to me here in a minute. Anyway, love the WR. It's great. It's my favorite bike out of the three that I have. However, like I said, I drive longer distances now, so I had to get a little bit bigger bike. And I did. I got a good deal on a Kawasaki. Come on, girl. And that's my primary bike now. And this kind of thing has been kind of sitting since, well, it hasn't been sitting. I mean, I ride it at least once a week just to get it out. Since February, I guess, and now it is, May? And the other one, I think I've put over 1,200 miles on it since then, so I'm not really counting miles too much. Although I keep an eye on the miles for changing the oil. Which is another problem with having three bikes. You have to maintain three bikes. I think it got a little bit more foggier. The fog has set in. I thought it was going to go away when the sun came out, but hey, it's foggy out. Oh well. It's still kind of early in the morning, so. Anyway, comfort-wise, let's talk about that. WR comfort-wise, this has the stock seat on it. I'm not going long trips. I'm not going on a adventure ride with it, although that would be fun, and I could probably pull it off with this seat. But I just don't. The seating position is upright. The peg position is right where I want it. Slightly forward, but slightly not. And I've just never had a problem with this seat. It's perfectly fine for what it is. Factory seat. it. I mean, there's nothing to complain about except for them freaking brush guard things, wannabe brush guard things. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Picking a motorcycle over a car and my attitude towards it. So I got this 2013, and then I started riding this instead of a car as much as I possibly could. And then after a while, it was fun at first. Okay, first of all, I should say this first. Riding a motorcycle as opposed to a car is a lot more fun. You see more stuff, like I said. It's a totally different experience. I'm not out here riding to look cool, but if people are, that's great. That's awesome. I could care less if anybody looked well. I want people to see me, obviously, but you know, that's not my thing. It's not my lifestyle. Like, I'm not out wearing Yamaha shirts or Kawasaki shirts or hats or anything like that. I'm just, you know, it's just like a car to me. Matter of fact, that's what we call them. I'm taking the blue car, I'm taking the orange car. It's kind of like, that's just kind of the joke. But so at first, you know, it was fun, and I actually started off in the winter on this thing. Full time now. I've been riding. I rode on and off, of course, just like anybody else, for a long time. And then it just became transportation. And that's kind of the way I see it. So, you know, you get up in the morning and get ready for work. You know, I'll look out the window, I'll check the weather and see what kind of gear I need to wear, and that's all there is to it. I don't really think, you know, it's like, okay, I'm riding this motorcycle today, that's just the way it is. I'll get to where I'm going, and that's it. The car right there. And I lost my train of thought again. Oh. Yes. Commuting. Oh yeah, no, what I was talking about the other day with a guy, a friend of mine. He, or we were talking about motorcycles, like, you know, I don't really ride for fun, you know, like on the weekend or something. Like today is Saturday and I'm out riding, but I'm riding for a purpose. So it's kind of, you know, I'm not a weekend guy. I don't get out on the weekend and cruise to bars or anything, or there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I do. I drive it to work and home, and if I need to go somewhere on the weekend, well, I just pick a bike and go. I don't have to get groceries or anything like that. We have a car for that. So point being, it's just like a car. I drive, ride. I get to where I'm going, come back, that's it. And there's a difference in the mentality of it, because at first, when I started riding full time, you know, it was fun, it was exciting, and then after a while it just became just the way it, come on baby, the way it was. She found a spot she didn't like there. I don't know if that whole spiel made any sense or not, but what I'm trying to say is, when you're riding to commute, it's a different mentality than if you're if you ride on, you know, once or twice a week, you know, just for fun, you know, take a passenger with you, or your wife or whatever, and just go out in the country and have a good time, which my wife does do that. We will do that, but it's just a totally different mindset. It almost becomes just like, okay, you get up, that's it. You get on your bike, you start it up, and you go. And I don't see too many. Come on, baby, let's go. I'm gonna have to check this program when I get home. I don't really see too many other bikers out when I'm commuting in my area. Come on, girl. You gotta have that sweet spot there. Occasionally, but in this area, it's pretty much Harley Davidson country. I don't know. I don't own a Harley. I don't know why. I just don't. Probably because I wanted motorcycles for a specific purpose. Like, this will be my bad weather winter bike, and the Z1000 is just a general commuter bike, although I'll ride it in the rain any day of the week. So yeah, anyway, this is Harley country. Pretty much every bike that I pass is a Harley Davidson. And that's just the way it is, you know, Midwest, out in the country. But I never see anybody, and I rarely see people in the wintertime. I hardly ever see anybody in the rain. I would say the wintertime would be the big one. I never see. Got a truck here. Let's see if he's going to see me. Probably not. I don't know if he did or not. That likes that 6 psi. Let's go through town here. I know I'm rambling on. I had a purpose. I need to pick a topic. I'm new at this and I'm trying. So I may use this and I may not. I don't know. But just know this. I have a 2003 Z1000. I have a 1980 KZ1000 that my wife and I take out occasionally. That's the fun rides there. I should say that. That's the leisurely ride there, where we have no purpose and we're just out to have fun, and we'll get on the old KZ1000 and we'll just head a certain direction. It doesn't even matter, and we'll stop somewhere by a creek or like a bridge or something like that, and we'll just sit, get off and chit chat and enjoy the weather and all that. She really likes that, and so do I. So yeah, there you go. I do ride for fun, entertainment. And the Z1000 is the second. Number 2 is what I was trying to say, was WR is still top of the list, just because it is a do-all, go anywhere, do anything, bulletproof, turbocharged, transportation. Yep. That little spitting and sputtering, it hits a spot to where the fuel hasn't fine-tuned itself. But I've noticed since I've been riding this, that there were some spots at certain RPM, certain pressure, that it would kind of surge a little bit, and then if I left it there after a while, it would go away. So WR is my favorite out of the three. This one right here. It handles great. I'm a taller person, so it's fine with me. You're just gonna spit and sputter there, it'll come out. I'm a taller person, so it fits me just perfect. It's really super lightweight, which is great. You can park it anywhere, and I just kind of lift up the back end and swing it around. Just gotta change the oil and change the tires every now and then. It's got a 606 on the back. It needs a new front tire. It did get a heck of a lot more foggier than when I left. That's crazy. Not a big deal. Anyway, a lot of rambling. I think I'll try to stick to a topic the next time. The topic was kind of motorcycles as just a means of transportation and not a toy, because I don't think they're toys. At all. And I don't think I should. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay like $20,000 for a motorcycle and only ride it on Saturdays if it's nice out or something like that. Keep it on the trickle charger in the garage. I would not be able to do that. I mean, if I had a really super nice, let's say Harley Davidson, because they're awesome looking bikes. If I had one of those, I'd ride the sucker. I'd ride it all the time. I don't know how they do in the rain or in the winter and all that. I assume that they would. You know, it's going to be a different animal because of the weight distribution, just the weight of it itself. But, you know, I haven't done it, so I don't know. But I guess the point being is, I'm not going to get a motorcycle that I'm not going to ride all the time. And we'll end that there.